Am I an asshole for telling my daughter I'm disgusted by her and telling her ex she has been taking their kid to his family side? So, here goes the story. My daughter and Ryan, her ex, are both 26 now. When they were 18, my daughter got pregnant. They moved in together and started raising their small family. They never got married, although Ryan's family often pressured them to do so. I remember hearing them say more than once that the two of them needed to stop living in sin. Things fell apart about a year ago when Ryan was caught cheating and it came out that he is gay. The breakup was extremely messy, and they eventually agreed to 50-50 custody of their child. Ryan's family is very religious. When the breakup happened, they were already upset, but when they learned Ryan was gay, they disowned him. I was at my daughter's place helping her move out when I heard Ryan's mother call him a slur. That moment made it clear what kind of people they are. After disowning him, they still expected access to their grandchild. Ryan refused and told them no. I know this because they once contacted me while I was babysitting, asking to see the child. I refused as well. The shared custody arrangement has been difficult for my daughter. It's hard for her not having her child during important events. For example, Ryan had custody over Easter, but he agreed to let my daughter have their child that day so they could celebrate with our side of the family. Recently, my daughter came over to pick up some things and showed me photos from a weekend trip. In those pictures, I noticed Ryan's mother and his two siblings. I asked her about it and she told me she had been taking the child to visit them for the past few months. I asked if Ryan knew about this, thinking they might have reconnected. She said he didn't. I told her I thought it was wrong, that these were people who had disowned their own son and held harmful views. She became defensive and it turned into an argument. She said she had the right to decide who her child sees. I told her I was deeply uncomfortable with her decision. I ended up informing Ryan. He thanked me, but now my daughter is furious with me. Ryan has since decided not to be flexible with custody anymore. That means no more swapping days or allowing extra time, even for special occasions. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Am I an asshole for wanting to eat meat on my vacation? I've been a vegetarian / mostly plant-based for 8 years. I do it because I love animals and don't want to eat them. I used to love meat, so it was very hard at first, although I have gotten used to it. I also don't judge or really care at all what anyone else eats and will cook / serve meat for close friends and families for special occasions even. My partner is vegan, and he teeters on being annoying about it. Like whenever I have family over for a BBQ and cook burgers, my mum does buy the meat. He gets mad, even though I bought a whole separate grill. We are going on a 3-week trip in the summer to the Mediterranean. I've always said that if I were to go on a special trip, I would eat whatever I wanted. I was talking to my sister about it, not even him directly because I knew he'd be annoyed, and he overheard and practically yelled at me that I'm betraying the animals and my ethics, blah blah. And that might be true, but I think I deserve to splurge a little after 8 years of self-control. So, what's your take on this? Am I an asshole for wanting to eat meat on this trip? Am I an asshole for refusing to drive a longer route to drop a girl off because she didn't want to be alone in the car with me? For the sake of the story, I feel like it's relevant to mention I'm a male. This situation involves me and 3 other people. Let's call them Joe, Sandra, and Amy. I'm good friends with Joe. We've been friends since we were kids. I know Sandra through Joe, and the 3 of us hang out regularly. Last week, Sandra invited her friend Amy to hang out with us. Amy and Sandra are good friends, and she's met Joe before. It was my first time meeting her. We just saw a movie and then went bowling. When everything was done, Sandra asked me if I was okay to drive Amy home. I said, yeah, no problem. I'm the only one who drives, so I usually drop everyone off after we see each other. I live in the middle of nowhere, like an hour north of all of them. They all live pretty close together. From where we were and where everyone's house is, it made sense to drop off Joe first, then Sandra, and then Amy, then continue on home. We didn't discuss the logistics in advance, so I dropped Joe off first, then was heading to Sandra's. I could tell Amy and Sandra were texting each other and they were kind of whispering. I had a feeling they were talking about me, but I didn't know for sure until Sandra just pointed out I made a wrong turn, and Amy's house was the other way. I explained it made more sense to drop Sandra off first, then Amy. It was only at this point Amy mentioned she didn't want to be alone in the car with me. Her only reason was because I'm a man, and she alluded that being alone in a car with a man she doesn't really know is unsafe. So what she was asking me was to drop her off next, then drive 10 minutes back, in the opposite direction of my house to drop Sandra off. Then another 10 minutes, back the exact same way I just came from, passing Amy's house again, in order to get home. My drive home is already an hour from town, so I said no. I didn't want to add an extra 20 minutes to my already 60-minute drive. They were both really pressuring me and trying to guilt me into just doing it, but I kept saying no. It was such an awkward car ride because they just didn't give up. Amy just got out of the car at Sandra's house. She kind of slammed the door all aggressively, which pissed me off a little. I just drove straight home afterwards. Joe called me the next day and heard what happened. He felt like I should have just done it, but I feel like their ask was unreasonable. I'm not going to go way out of my way to do a favor for someone who just thinks I'm some messed up abuser or something. Anyways, just looking for opinions on whether or not I'm the asshole here. So for now, this is it. I will come to you with another video very soon with loads of dramatic and juicy stories. Till then, take care and subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye.